What do I need to prepare for an interview? Especially for a product manager interview. And what can I do to leave a good impression and eventually get hired? So in this video, I want to share with you a couple of ways to better prepare for a product manager interview and making sure you will rock it. So at the end of the video, I will share with you a free downloadable checklist, as well as a couple of example questions that I like asking as the person who's interviewed. So my name is Christian Strunk and I'm a product management and leadership coach. I used to work for many years as a product manager and I have interviewed and hired a lot of them. And today I would like to share with you the difference between well-prepared people and not so well-prepared people. So in order to kick things off, I would like to look at 4 things that are super relevant in order to prepare for a job or to make sure that you later on will get the job. So rule number 1 is, and it may sound like a phrase for you, but it is take things serious. I'm repeating what I said, take it serious. So there are so many people these days who are looking for a job but not taking it serious. But let's maybe look at this from a different angle than usual. So let's imagine you are a CEO of a company, that you have founded a company, let's say 5 years ago. You are selling a super cool and fancy app, you are successful and you have 20 employees. So after a couple of years you realized you would like to do something else. You want to focus more on finance and strategy or whatever as CEO, and you realize you cannot do the whole product management work you have done before. So what you're gonna do? You're hiring a product manager. Congratulations. But what's the difference between hiring a product manager and, for example, an engineer or a designer? So I want to make a simplified example. So considering you have high hiring standards, let's imagine you're going to hire a designer. What will this person do? This person will do research, define personas, design assets and features, and in the best case they're getting developed, in the worst case they're not. What about an engineer? In the best case, the engineer will fix bugs, write more code and deploy features to production. What happens when you hire a product manager? There the game is a bit different. So you have first of all a person who creates tons of meetings with tons of people. And not only one-to-one, so we're talking about group meetings, etc. So this person will spend a lot of time and a lot of energy in communication. This person will maybe develop a complete new or complete different strategy, a complete different and new roadmap. So this person will make decisions on the company's direction for the next months and years, as well as the team. So this is something big. Just imagine you are the CEO and you're going to hire this person now. What would you do? How would you feel about this? And how would it feel for you if you're going to hand over this big bunch of history, this big bunch of responsibility to one person? It is something serious, something that is very serious, and I ask you to take it serious. So beside that, point number 2 is do your homework. I can't believe that in 2020 people still are coming to interviews unprepared, no matter if junior positions or senior positions. So make sure you have done some research. I recommend you to go the very easy way. Take a pen, take a piece of paper and write things down. So visit the website, and if it's an online solution, just do the sign up. And if you notice some things that are not good or that can be improved, write them down for feedback. Are there things you don't understand at all? Write them down. This is just super important to write down the things you don't know. Know your unknowns. This will later on help you to ask better questions. Check out the founders. What is the history of them? Are there talks online? Are there any kind of special things you can learn about them? Let me make you an example. When I applied at one of my previous jobs at the company Newstore. So Newstore was founded by Stefan Schambach, and he was one of the inventors of e-commerce. He founded Demandware, a company that was, I think 2 years ago, sold to Demandware for 2.2 billion, which was a shitload of money. So this guy was just super good in what he's doing, and I was just super curious. And when I had the on-site interview, he had half an hour time talking to me, which was a very rare thing. So I was lucky, and he and I immediately had a great base. So we asked each other questions. We were both curious. Obviously I left a good impression because I got the job at the end, but I got it because I was so prepared. Because I took the time to make sure that I figure out everything I wanted, everything that is needed. So my recommendation for you is really do your homework, do research, check out the product. If necessary, talk to people who work there or using the product. Do whatever it's possible. And I can tell you, if you spend an hour or two focused on getting information in combination with writing it down, I think you will be way better prepared than, unfortunately, a lot of other people. And if you're taking things serious, as well as having done your homework, the next point is to make sure that you prepare good questions. The best product managers I know are the people who are asking the best questions. And asking good questions, leaves also a good impression to the other side. Don't ask for the sake of asking, ask because you want to ask. Let me give you an example. So you can ask many questions, and these will be later, or these are available in the video description in the download section for free. So you can ask questions about the company. How do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in a couple of years? Or what is the product or company vision? What are the biggest challenges in hiring? You can also ask for yourself by saying, what will be the biggest challenge for me when I join? Or what kind of book recommend you reading before I start, and stuff like that. So you will find a long list of examples, and you can maybe use them as inspiration and add them to your questionnaire, or you will maybe use them to make something better out of it. And by the way, I would be curious what are your favorite questions that you asked, so feel free to drop a comment and let me know. Last but not least, it's super important to have a couple of backup questions as well. So make sure that you always have a couple of questions left until the end of the interview, because the most of the meetings end with, do you have any questions? And it's not a problem to say no, especially when you have asked a lot of questions. However, sometimes it's not possible due to a deep, complex conversation to ask much of a question. So leave that to the end and make sure you always have some. What I do is, no matter how many questions I've asked, I'm always asking one or two more questions at the end, just to show the people, hey, no matter how many things we discussed, no matter how many information we exchanged, I'm still not getting enough, and I want to make the best out of the time we have together. So last but not least is being yourself. I know this sounds again like a phrase, but being yourself is super important. There is a saying, fake it until you make it, which is fine, but don't overfake it. Be yourself is something that does not start during the interview. It starts already when you make the decision to become a product manager, when you make the decision to change the job, when you make the decision to go or to move to the next level or to aim for the next level. So make sure that you don't fake too much. This is something you see immediately. Be as natural as possible, and something which is clear is you cannot be yourself if you're nervous. So let's look at this, because I think avoiding or reducing nervousness is one of the key points to achieve your goal at the end of the day. Because when you are nervous and your mind goes a bit crazy, you do things that you usually would not do if you would have a calm and clear mind. And there are two things that are helping me personally a lot that I would like to share with you. Number one is be prepared. If you know your unknowns, if you have asked your question, you have done already at least 50% of the work. And that's okay. You can sleep better, you did what you need to do, what you can do, and that's a good foundation. And point number two is the mindset around it. So you can either say, I'm just super stressed, I'm super nervous, I'm burnt out, I don't have time, whatever. Or you can look at things from a complete different angle. The other angle would be, hey, I'm just super excited in having the chance to talk to Google or Facebook. I'm just super grateful and thankful about the fact that I'm having the chance to potentially get a job, to do this whole process, because I know out there are 4,000 people who want the job as well and who would do everything to kick me off the table. I'm thankful for that. And very important is this whole process of interviewing, this whole process of negotiating your salaries and the contract and stuff like this is something that is a part of your job anyway. maybe in a different way, but it's part of the job. And you need to love the whole process that is happening before as much as the job itself, because it's part of the game. Keep that in mind. It is part of the game. You need to like the whole negotiation part, the whole communication part, as much as the job itself, because the job itself will consist many of these kind of elements. So let's sum it up. Rule number 1 is make sure that you take it serious. The second point is do your homework and prepare as good as possible. Point number 3, prepare and later on ask good questions. And last but not least, don't forget to be yourself. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. In the next videos, I will talk about questions that I or we as company like asking product managers, and I will also share with you a couple of assessments that you can try out and do to see where you stand and if you would be able to pass the first rounds. So I'm Product Coach Christian. See you next week.